Trade deadline less than a week away. Masters week as well. Hey, how are you? It's World Hockey Report presented by LORDCO Auto Parts. Now open in Edmonton, Alberta on St. Albert Trail Northwest. If you haven't checked it out, you better go do so. The absolute best. It'll put any auto shop to shame. Cody Jansen here with you. Adam Ermintrout as well. It's World Hockey Report live coming to you 12-ounce sports. Zingo TV channel 761. Catch us whatever. Connect with us on Twitter, social media at World Hockey RPT. Let us know your thoughts. Hit us up. Any questions, any thoughts during the show. We'll try and get back to you. Let's snap it over to Saskatchewan now. Right away, Adam Ermintrout with us. What's up, buddy?
Man, it's been a crazy week. I've got probably 90 things due in school. Got into it with a couple people on Twitter at the dog park. You know, it's been wild.
We will get into that dog park story too. We do have to address those concerns about Adam being a potential killer in Saskatoon, fighting people at the dog park. Oh man, I don't know. Like I don't know how things are in Saskatchewan. You guys are way further ahead in your vaccinations, I think. But dude, Alberta is so far behind. We're going back into lockdown. I could rant on this for hours, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a joke at this point. Like, dude, it's like open up lockdown. We're hopeless. We are.
Yeah, like I actually think we're like, I guess for Saskatchewan or for Canada, it's pretty good relative to the States. It's a freaking disaster. How about on Twitter when I replied? Somebody's talking about the Canucks. I think it was LeBron, and somebody replied, they're like, hey, like, aren't they vaccinated already? And I kind of made a joke. I was like, nobody in Canada is vaccinated. And like, I was like, you know what, like, just like joking around. Like, I know a very small amount of people have. And some people, they replied, they go, are you kidding me? Like 5% of people in BC are vaccinated. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, so basically nobody. Yeah, so people are going a little crazy on that, but you know, maybe by 2025 we'll have fans back in Canada.
Shout out to the New York Rangers who took the day off to get vaccinated.
Yeah, Eric Church is coming to Saskatoon in October, so like I don't know how that's gonna go, but
yeah, it'll be like 2% capacity at the SaskTel Center. Also, I forgot to mention first show of the month here, so 100 retweets on our pinned post. We'll post it after 100 retweets. We'll give away a Pro Rock stick. So that's the thing. Everyone's watching. I see. You know, hit us up. Hit us in the comments. Whatever you want to do. Let's get Pro Rock giving away some stuff here. Also, shout out LORDCO Auto Parts. Always the best support of things. That's a great store too. I don't know. I was there. I had to go pick up some parts the other day too. Just, you know, nice, clean. It's not like when you go on Canadian Tire and it feels so dungy, right? Like they got like the concrete floors. You just know that the staff members are the grouchiest people around.
Oh, yeah.
No, not to throw too much shade at Canadian Tire, but LORDCO pretty sick there. Okay, back on COVID though. I seen NBA teams. They're basically working with someone who's like rapid testing, I think, or screening or something like that. They're aiming for next season to have everyone at 100% capacity. That just seems like a dream at this point, dude. Like we can't even play hockey with more than 9 people on the ice here right now. It's an absolute joke. It's pathetic, and I don't get it. You know, if there's proper precautions being taken, why can't you? It doesn't make sense.
NHL, I bet you NHL rinks are full in the States for playoffs. Like that's
so? Texas, yeah. Like that's Dallas, mid-May, yeah. Like, Florida, yes.
People were going crazy like on Twitter about the Jays in Texas kind of having a full capacity, but like what do you care? You're 3,000 kilometers away.
It's everyone up in like Toronto and Edmonton. They're like freaking out. They're like, that's so irresponsible. Like, oh my goodness, disgusting.
Like everybody's a big kid down there. Most of them are probably vaccinated, honestly, but you know, everybody's a big kid, and if they want to go to a ball game, let them go to a ball game. Like, I mean, it's their own decision. So
why is it so hard to let people live their lives how they want it? And I'm not saying like, hey, you know, there's the Grace Life Church up here who's just got shut down. But I mean, they're being completely irresponsible asshats and not following any regulations. But if they're not breaking any rules, and I get it, they're like, oh, they're supposed to be masked up. I get it. They're not going to wear their mask perfectly. Like, don't say that you wear your mask perfectly at all times also. But like, you know, if it's allowed, why not? They've got more people vaccinated than Canada, I'm pretty sure. You know, like it's insane just how different it is. I don't know, but it just feels so weird that, you know, we can't even get 5% of people into a building safely. And down there, they got 40,000 people watching a ball game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of a joke.
Week, though.
Yeah, trade deadline week. Let's get to some NHL news here for Pro Rock Hockey Sticks. Pro Rock Hockey Sticks, Canadian company, changing the way we buy hockey sticks now. Number one problem you face when buying a top of the line hockey stick. They cost $350+, which is wild. Pro Rock top of the line stick, weighing around 400 grams of the best price point. Check them out today, prorock.com. Adam, you worked at a hockey store for a little bit. What's the most expensive sticks out there right now? Like, I haven't bought a retail
Like
stick in forever, but
350, probably 380, I think they get up to. Like,
yeah,
I think those Bauer ADV ones, like the ones with the hole in them,
yeah.
I think those are pretty expensive.
And then like like that's like 380 without taxes or anything,
Yeah,
eh?
like
Yeah,
400
dude,
bucks.
that's wild. Can you imagine?
It's hilarious actually. Like, people will come in and they'll want like a $400 hockey stick, and then they'll get a $150 helmet, and it's like, oh really? Like, your stick's more important than your brain? Like,
Dude, that's so true though. That's literally how people think, and I don't get it. Like even for buying a hockey stick, what's a $400 hockey stick really going to do for you?
yeah,
Especially when there's other options. And I mean, totally biased towards Pro Rock, but I mean, it's an unreal stick at $160 Canadian. I think it's at 120 US dollars or something like that. Like, dude, you're not gonna find it
mhm.
elsewhere where this is gonna go toe to toe with any Bauer. I truly believe that. So I don't know. Huge shout out to Pro Rock for supporting the boys here. Trade deadline week though. NHL news. Let's get into it. Taylor Hall, Kyle Palmieri. Those are obviously the big
Davis
names.
Savard.
Yeah, big name. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not even top three right now. I'm thinking of Martin Jones, 934 save percentage in his last 9 games. I think it is. Dude, who couldn't use that guy on your team if he's going to play? When did they make their cup run? 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, no, they lost
16, I think.
16. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because 17 was Nashville.
Yeah, 17 was Nashville.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, dude, you're getting Martin Jones of 5 years ago, potentially. This guy's looking like a stud right now. He's putting San Jose in the playoffs single-handedly. Him and Erik Karlsson are coming straight for Adam's throat with all his comments he's been making about.
Yeah, no, I wonder with San Jose, like, I don't, it seems like that they're just like, you know what, we'll see where it goes, maybe sell who we can, but you can't do much if you're like them or LA. And a lot of the time, like this time of year, like you see guys like Scott Lawton and Chris Drieger and Alex Iafallo, and they're all having great years, but it's like, well, if we can't extend them, then what do we do? I'm curious what Florida does with their goaltending. Like, Bobrovsky's played really well lately. He didn't really play well last night, but him and Drieger, you could really get a lot for Drieger at this point, and just given where he was, you pretty much got him for nothing, like coming out of the coast. And I don't know if it's risky to go to Spencer Knight this early.
Who would you pay more for right now, Chris Drieger or Taylor Hall?
Man, that's a tough question actually, because like
I
I
know.
I had the tweet out there, and everybody wants Taylor Hall. Like, I don't really get it, right? Like, for a first round pick, you're expecting a guy who puts you over the edge, and for him, his complete outlier year was in New Jersey, and then last year in Arizona, it's not like he did a whole lot, and this year in Buffalo, it's not like he did a whole lot. And for an $8 million player who is going to be 50% retained, sure, but yeah, I don't get the Taylor Hall thing. I think that you could honestly get a Scott Lawton for the same price, and he might provide more kind of in a big game.
Do you think that Taylor Hall at $4 million would fit into Edmonton's lineup? And I know you kind of brought up how Ken Holland on another dollar in, dollar out team, but they're so attached to Chris Russell. I think that's more Dave Tippett, the old school mentality of like, who's going
Yeah,
to win us in
block
playoffs? It's got to
shots.
be Chris Russell. But like, if you can find a way to get a Taylor Hall into Edmonton, do you think that's a smart move for them on a 1 year deal?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't get the whole, oh, like, we're just gonna wait, we're not trading more draft picks. Like, if you're on the team, McDavid and Draisaitl are healthy, and obviously you hope for that every year, knock on wood. But let's say one of them gets hurt one year, you punt on a year of them together, and they're healthy this year, they're dominant the division. Like, no team really scares you. Like, Toronto and Winnipeg are really good, but it's not like you're like, oh, like we can't beat them, and you don't even know who's in net for Toronto, and Winnipeg's second D man's like Nate Beaulieu or whatever. So I mean, I think they should. Like it's easy for me to say it's not my money or draft picks that I'm trading, but at the same time, you draft a guy in the third round. When's he going to be ready? 22 maybe. So McDavid's going to be what, 28? Like it just,
No, and I think that I don't think Taylor Hall even fetches a first anymore. I think that, he's probably a couple of second rounders, same as Athanasiou. Was it last year? Whenever
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Well, even like Dzingel too. Like you could get him probably for a third. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, it comes down to cap space at that point. I totally understand it, but from an Oilers perspective, and this doesn't even just have to deal with the Oilers. This is any NHL team. Maybe I'm being the worst person in the world, but like, what's the point of making a big playoff run where you're not going to be able to profit off of it? Why not
Yeah.
build for next year? And that's where we'll segue into the Calgary Flames. But
Here, just on
if you're,
that quickly,
yeah,
Elliot had a good point on his podcast. He said, okay, you're not going to make money for the playoffs, but wouldn't garnering the playoff attention sell tickets for next year? And he kind of said that's what an owner said to him too. So there's two sides to it. I mean, also if you look at the West, and we'll get into Calgary,
you're
as you
not going to
said,
have
but
problems selling tickets in Edmonton.
no,
Maybe ticket prices a little bit. I totally
yeah,
get it from another, other team standpoints.
yeah.
Canadian market, that doesn't matter.
Well, looking at the West for next year, Vancouver won't be any better because they have 20 million in cap space and it's all going to guys on their team, and they're going to lose a couple like good depth guys. Calgary's definitely not going to be better. You're going to have an expansion team in Seattle. And don't get me with Vegas was good. Seattle will not be good. They're not going to host teams like Vegas did. And then you got LA, who's old, Arizona, Anaheim, who's clearly on the back nine, and San Jose. So the
Anaheim could turn
division
things
and
around
Vegas.
quick, though. Anaheim could turn things around quick.
They could. You're just banking on a lot there. But if you look at the division, there's three teams that are good teams, and it's Edmonton, Vegas, and I don't know. It's Edmonton and Vegas in the division next year. So that's also something to look at.
Seattle number one. Easy start there to go mush them. No, and I totally get why teams are obviously they do want to make a run. It still looks good on the organization, but from a financial standpoint, I feel like you're just burning money at this point. And speaking of trade deadline, actually, we haven't even mentioned our guests yet for the show. We're slacking here. This is we got Chris Faber coming up in about 30 minutes or so. He's going to hop on, talk Canucks, their COVID problem. I think 21 people now on the COVID, or 21 guys have had COVID. Yeah. Something on that team. I just saw. That's wild. Then we got Pat Micheletti, former NHLer, hockey analyst, K-Fan, Westwood One Sports. Going to come on. We'll talk wild with him. We'll talk trade deadline. Maybe get a couple of funny stories out there. Chris Faber to talk Canucks in 30 minutes. Calgary Flames. Do they sell at the deadline or do they wait till the offseason? Because I think it's a no-brainer that if you sell at this deadline, you are going to get peanuts, pennies, and piss on the dollar compared to what you'll get in the offseason.
Yeah. I think there's two kind of schools of thought, right? Like, I mean, would a team pay more for 2 seasons or 2 playoff runs of Johnny Gaudreau than just one if you trade him in the offseason? Like, there's that, but you can't really make any major moves right now if you're Calgary. Like, sell your Derek Ryans, your Sam Bennett's, your whoever really, but you can't do it.
Carter Hart for Johnny Gaudreau. Who says no?
Oh,
Philly every day of the week.
Yeah, probably Philly.
I saw that on Twitter though, and it made me think twice.
The Konechny one or a Patrick one would make a lot of sense, but it seems too easy for Philly to trade for Johnny Gaudreau, knowing that that's where he's going to be in free agency. He'll be somewhere out east there, So what's somebody going to pay for Sean Monahan? The guy looks like he can't even skate anymore.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I feel like their value just keeps going down and down as their production. I mean, they're underperforming year after year. They've never had playoff success. They just don't look like winners.
Didn't you pick them to win the cup?
What?
On this show, you picked, and you said Markstrom was going to lead them. The Colorado series did it in for me. A couple of years ago, they got rinsed by Colorado, and last year and this year, people are like, yeah, they made some good moves. They could be good. And no, I've been checked out on this team for 2 years.
I don't remember who I had to win the cup. I know last year I was all over Philly. I don't remember who I was on this year. You can go back and look. You can go and fact check, do something during the week when you're actually not working hard at school. Fraud. No, I think for the Flames, though, like Markstrom's been terrible. I get it. He had a hot start there for 5 or 6 games, but now all of a sudden you're kind of seeing the reason why, he's only been a starter in the league for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
Not a good look for a 6x6.
It looks like he should be stopping it looks like he should be stopping the puck, but there's a lot of leaky goals that just go right through him. And I mean,
there's almost a little bit of Mikko Koskinen in him. Big goalie, pucks seem to find his way through him. Seems to just let in weird goals, make some unreal saves. I don't know. Are the Flames terrible defensively? Is that why? Maybe they're not perfect. I don't know. Okay, moving along though. We got to get to some other news quick here. Kyle Palmieri, where does he end up? And why is people even considering him in the same conversation as Taylor Hall? It's not even close.
I think Palmieri could go to the Islanders or the Leafs.
Yeah, I could see the Isles making a move for him. I feel like he's just a little...
That's just like an Islanders player, though. Yeah. Like kind of like middle, like second line guy.
Yeah, like probably could put up 20, something like that. Case Savard, where does he go?
Like a Winnipeg, maybe. Elliot was saying Tampa, which I don't really know how that would work. They're already getting Kucherov for the playoffs for free. So probably Winnipeg.
DJ?
I don't know what they do because, like, you lose Ekblad, you can't punt on the season, and they're getting such good production from their forwards right now. And I could see, like, would Toronto make sense?
Yeah, it depends how long Freddie's out for. Can we pump the brakes on Jack Campbell for a second here? Like, I get it. We're at 9 games, but if you look at who he's playing and stuff, like...
He's played Calgary 3 times and Ottawa twice.
Yeah, let's calm down here on the Jack Campbell talk. I mean, let's see him play 60, 70 games, 60 games, 50 games in a season. And then let's actually consider him an elite starting goaltender. Right now, he's just a good number 2. I'll stick to that one until, maybe he wins a couple of playoff series. But until then, he's a goalie who's played 9 games.
Yeah.
Who else is on the move?
I guess we didn't really give our thoughts for Taylor Hall yet. Like, where do you see him ending up?
I don't know. I could see maybe the Oilers if they can make it work cap-wise. I could see it.
I just don't know who's out there that really is going to buy. Like Colorado maybe, but
Arizona.
Colorado could be a spot for Dreger too, actually. But I don't get.
What if San Jose finds room? What if San Jose finds room and they kind of think, well, maybe we go for a playoff run?
But who's buying? Because if you Arizona's not, Anaheim's not, LA's not, St. Louis, who knows what their deal is? Minnesota, maybe, but nobody really knows, and there's not a lot of buyers. So I think that it's going to come down to the 12th hour with some of these guys.
Yeah, I've heard Boston be tossed around too. Could it make sense? It might, but
I don't get Boston at all. They're good defensively. They're on their 4th goalie. They get nothing from about 7 or 8 of their forwards. So it's are you really good enough to win? Also,
let's pump the brakes on Vladar and Swayman here. They're not, we should get rid of Tuukka and Halak. We got these 2 right now. Boston media is off their rocker.
You know what's ridiculous?
Just
quickly. Josh Manson, apparently the ask for him is just through the roof. And I remember, I think it was Elliot again, he said, the Ducks love Josh Manson more than you love your spouse or your own children. And I really don't get it. He's 29 years old. He's kind of had some injury issues. You got to get what you can from him. He's not going to pair up with Trevor Zegras and whatnot,
Yeah, I think it's the analytics community that's pretty hot and heavy on him. I do believe. Yeah. I think that's kind of where I see all of the defendants coming on Josh Manson. Alrighty, we got a commercial break though. Pat Micheletti coming up here after. It's World Hockey Report presented by LORDCO Auto Parts on 12 Ounce Sports.
LORDCO Auto Parts has been a household name in communities across Western Canada since 1974. LORDCO is proudly Canadian owned and operated, and now they're in Edmonton. Carrying much more than just car parts, their newest store in St. Albert Trail Northwest has a huge selection of aftermarket auto parts and accessories. Visit them today for an exceptional customer experience or learn more about their products and services at LORDCO.com.
Refreshingly different, COCO vodka and COCO rum is a vacation in a can. The best drink you'll ever have is now on more shelves than ever. Enjoy the COCO life made with high-quality ingredients. Check us out today at enjoycoco.com. We are the real deal. COCO vodka and COCO rum.
Change your game with the all-new Pro Rock Hockey Stick. A Canadian company providing a top-of-the-line twig at an affordable price. Pro Rock sticks are extremely lightweight, balanced, and provide the perfect kick point. Get your fully customized stick today at ProRock.com. Play like a Pro Rock.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
World Hockey Report presented by LORDCO Auto Parts, the one-stop shop for quality RV, car, truck, or marine parts and accessories. Now, let's head down to the state of hockey. Excited for this one. You know, we don't really, Adam gives a lot of love to the Minnesota Wild. But hey, we're excited to bring on Pat Micheletti here for COCO Vodka and COCO Rum. Back for another season. Great friends there, COCO Vodka, COCO Rum. Best drink you'll ever have on more shelves than ever across Alberta. New cans coming soon. Refreshingly different COCO Vodka, COCO Rum. A vacation in a can. Check them out today. COCO Vodka, COCO Rum, the real deal. Pleased to be joined now. Former NHLer, college and NHL hockey analyst Pat Micheletti for Westwood One Sports K-Fan. Pat, how's it going?
Good, fellas. How are you?
Doing good. Can't complain. It's springtime now, so we're a couple of days closer to golf season. I'm really not going to complain about that. Hey, we wanted to bring you on, pick your brain here. I know college hockey in full swing. Let's get your quick breakdown of the Frozen Four here, because I think it's really up for grabs. Honestly, Minnesota impressed everyone with how good. I mean, you know, you get 5 teams in the tournament. That's impressive nonetheless. But what are you thinking here coming down to the Frozen Four?
Well, you know, at the beginning of the year, I thought North Dakota was your champion. You know, they were on a mission a year ago. I thought they were going to win it a year ago, and then the pandemic, and we didn't have a tournament. And so you know, they got some guys that decided not to sign a year ago and come back, and lo and behold, UMD beats them in the regional. I thought Minnesota was right with them all season long, you know, with the team that they had. Lo and behold, they get beat by Minnesota State. So the parity in college hockey is crazy. You know, when it got to the end, I thought, you know what, there's probably 8 or 10 teams that have a chance. You know, if they get the great goaltending and you know all the things you need to win a hockey game. That they're capable of winning it. That being said, you know, we have 3 Minnesota teams in the tournament in the Frozen Four, Minnesota State, St. Cloud, and UMD, the 2-time defending champions. And then you have UMass. And the last time UMass and UMD played was guess what? 2 years ago in the championship game. Now, UMass had Cale McCarr at that time. They don't have him this year. And it's going to be an interesting tournament. We just found out, I don't know if you guys had heard, that UMass, 4 guys on their team are not going to be able to play in tomorrow's game due to COVID. And one of them being their goaltender, who is a draft pick, by the way, of the Minnesota Wild, Philip Lindbergh, and 3 other guys. And the other guy, his name escapes me, is their leading goal scorer. So that puts UMass behind the 8 ball a little bit, but nonetheless, it should be a good game. And then you have Minnesota State and St. Cloud, where you got 2 different type of styles of hockey. One in Minnesota State, where they defend. They're an older team. They like to get in your face and hit you. And then you have a St. Cloud team that's really fast, that plays 4 lines, that likes to score a lot of goals. So 2 contrasting styles. Should be a good week of hockey.
Yeah, it's nice to see college hockey in Minnesota really take off. They almost own the NCAA. I want to ask you about the Wild. I honestly hated them for a couple years because I was like, they're just so average. They have nothing about them. They're in such a weird spot, but they get Kaprizov. It seems like he's changed the entire organization. Just your thoughts on him and what he's done, and also what his next contract looks like, because I believe he's an RFA after this year.
Well, let's start at the beginning. When Paul Fenton took over, he started the transformation of understanding that they needed to get younger, they needed to get faster, and they needed more skill. And Paul had done that with the Fiala trade, and he got rid of Charlie Coyle and Nino Niederreiter, and we all could see what was coming. Unfortunately for Paul, he was let go after 1 year, and Billy Guerin came in, and Billy has done a masterful job with this organization. And you bring up Kaprizov, and we'll get to him, and but the moves that Bill Guerin made by signing Marcus Johansson, for example, I thought was a tremendous move. Moving Eric Stahl in a deal. Mikko Koivu retiring. That got you younger right away. It got you faster right away, and it brought you more skill. And then you add in there Kirill Kaprizov. And guys, I knew he was good. I knew that at every level that he made the jump to, he succeeded right away. I was tempered going in because, as you guys know, this is the best league in the world with the best players in the world. And the kid has been amazing. He has no care factor. He has no, and I say this in a very respectful way. If it's Drew Doughty, if it's Connor McDavid, if it's Nathan McKinnon, I don't care who it is, whoever he's up against, he doesn't care. If you're in his way, he will find a way to get the puck. He will find a way to knock you down. He's just that type of player. He reminds me, guys, of, and you'll appreciate this, of a 8-year-old going out on the outdoor rink, right? When all our buddies get together, and you got ages from 8 to 17. Well, he doesn't care who the 17-year-old is. He's going to try to get the puck and score, and that's the way he plays. And he's a real happy kid. But literally, guys, he has transformed the thinking of this organization. And from what you guys have seen and what I witness every night, it's a much faster team. It's exciting. My partner on the radio show that I do, we look at each other and we say, man, can we name a game this year where we weren't riveted, and fully in tuned into the game because, it's fast, it's skillful, and it's fun. And, that's the best way I can describe how this team has been.
Wow.
What's his contract?
His contract. They have started talking, and technically he is an FRA. They would still, I'm not all of the lingo. Bottom line is they will re-sign him this summer. And, it's going to have to be for the max of what they can pay him, or then, at least a term, I should say. And it's going to look around somewhere in the $6 to $8 million. I think it'll be a bargain because when you look at it, he'll be 31 when the contract expires. So, you're not going to have to pay him that 8 to 10, 10 to 12 type contract right now. So I think it would be a bargain for the Wild. And, there's no question. It is priority number one, and they will get it done.
For sure. Pat Micheletti, our guest here for COCO Vodka, COCO Rum. I got a quick one for you, just on trade deadline. Yep. If you could get, if the Wild, you think, could go for one player, who do you think they want adding to their roster this year?
Well, there's no mystery. And this is one area that they didn't address coming into the season. And I understand, kind of why. They drafted Marco Rossi, who in a lot of people's eyes fell to them at number 8, right? And they had Marco Rossi penciled in as a number 2 center. Well, he gets COVID and then the heart problem, and he's out all year. And so that kind of, was an eye opener for him. They need a center. There's no question about it. They don't have a number 1 center. You can call Eriksson Ek a number 2 center. I think he's a number 3 to be, if you're slotting guys and where they would be most effective, he would be a number 3 center. They need a centerman in the worst way. I think going into the year, Bill Guerin did not think that they were cup ready. And if you're asking me today if they are, no, they are not. They are 2 or 3 forwards away from really having a chance to win the cup, in my opinion. So that being said, I don't know. I know Bill Guerin is not going to acquire a rental, and he's not going to overpay for a player. So if he can make the right deal where he does get a centerman, that centerman is going to be around for a couple of years, or part of the future, I should say. And quite frankly, guys, I don't know if there's anyone out there that he can get that would fill that mold, if you will. And
they're not easy to find.
The league, and if you look around the league, in fact, I had Darren Millard from Vegas on our show the other day. I said, Darren, what's Vegas want? Well, guess what Vegas wants? They want a center. Everyone is looking for depth up the middle. And right now, the prices are extremely high. And so, you would think with the COVID protocols with Canada and the U.S. that maybe some deals are going to be made earlier. Quite frankly, I don't think that's going to happen because I think you're going to see the market change a little bit come Monday, and then I think we'll see a lot of movement then. But I think that the prices are too high right now.
Pat, I got one more quick one for you. I don't know how much we mentioned. You are a former NHLer here. You played on that 87, 88 North Stars team, and there's 2 studs. Yep. I got to ask you about. What was it like playing with Dino Ciccarelli and Brian Bellows? Because, hey, they are 2 special players.
Well, I'll tell you what. Dino and I were kind of, the same type of player. And hence, that's why I only was with the organization 2 years. because I knew they weren't going to have two of the same type player in the organization or up with a big team. And, then I opted to go to Europe after that, right? The NHL was changing, guys were getting bigger, stronger, and you couldn't have guys like that. Dino was awesome to me, absolutely awesome. When I got called up, I sat next to him in the locker room. I learned from him. He helped me. Knew I wasn't going to take his job, but was just a real good pro and a terrific guy. And as you guys know, just an unbelievable goal scorer and a competitive guy who, wanted to win. And it was great. It was great to be around him. Brian Bellows, he was a little bit different. He had a great player. I didn't have the relationship. We were drafted the same year. I think he was the first rounder. I was later on. But Brian had a great career. Still lives here. I don't see him as often as some people do, but he had a great career here and, wins a cup with Montreal and, just a wonderful career.
That You're the Best Bellows clip is probably one of my favorites. But Pat, thank you so much. We'll have to get you back on when Kaprizov signs his mega deal.
Hey, anytime, guys. It was my pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
Appreciate that, Pat. Right there, Pat Micheletti, former NHLer, current NHL college hockey analyst. Wow, what an interview. Get to talk Stars. Adam was pumped to talk Stars.
Well, Kaprizov.
Not Stars.
Yeah,
I mean, Wild. Yeah,
no.
not Stars. I'm just in a mental pretzel right now.
He brings up some good points. So I mean,
he's still not the Calder winner.
Who is?
Stützle.
Oh God. He brings up good points, and this is why. I mean, I've said it for like 2 years. This is why I won't ever pick Vegas. They have very little depth up the middle. They don't have a number one center. They got Chandler Stevenson for a 5th round pick and William Karlsson as, kind of a 20 goal guy. So yeah. And then, I mean, Minnesota up the middle, you look, Eriksson X probably playing far too much for anybody's liking. But yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we won a number one center. Okay. Who are you getting? Dubois just became available and you had to trade a 40 goal scorer for him. So they don't grow on trees. You got to draft them. You got to find them. So it's really a tough
shout
position.
out Marco Rossi too, though. That kid's been battling after. Like, did he get COVID? Was it COVID that got him?
He got COVID.
So he got the vid, and like he's been battling back too. And so like now it seems like he's healthy. He's gonna get on the ice here. Like freaking right. That's awesome to see that. Okay, before we hit commercial break here, talk to Chris Faber about those Canucks. I'll tell you guys, LORDCO Auto Parts, household name in communities across Western Canada since 1974. The trusted place to shop for your automotive needs. LORDCO, proudly Canadian owned and operated, now finally in Edmonton. So much more than just car parts. Everything else right in their new store on St. Albert Trail Northwest. LORDCO Auto Parts open 7 days a week. Visit them today for an exceptional customer experience or learn more about their products and services at lordco.com. Let's talk Canucks after the break here. Obviously, a lot of COVID issues with that team, but I think even fully healthy, they got a lot of problems they got to deal with. Adam knows that. It's Cody Jansen, Adam Ermintrout with you here. It's World Hockey Report, 12 Ounce Sports.
LORDCO Auto Parts has been a household name in communities across Western Canada since 1974. LORDCO is proudly Canadian owned and operated, and now they're in Edmonton. Carrying much more than just car parts, their newest store in St. Albert Trail Northwest has a huge selection of aftermarket auto parts and accessories. Visit them today for an exceptional customer experience or learn more about their products and services at lordco.com.
Refreshingly different, COCO vodka and COCO rum is a vacation in a can. The best drink you'll ever have is now on more shelves than ever. Enjoy the COCO life made with high-quality ingredients. Check us out today at enjoycoco.com. We are the real deal. COCO vodka and COCO rum.
Change your game with the all-new Pro Rock Hockey Stick, a Canadian company providing a top-of-the-line twig at an affordable price. Pro Rock sticks are extremely lightweight, balanced, and provide the perfect kick point. Get your fully customized stick today at ProRock.com. Play like a Pro Rock.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Well, the North Division. Started early there. Well, the North Division. We've seen a little bit of a shake-up here. One team been shut down. Vancouver, definitely. The vid got to them, and first and foremost, we hope that everyone, including staff, players, family, everyone affected, is all right. We did have to talk about that too, because I think even before we wanted to dive into a little Canucks stuff, I think even without COVID, this team is not in the best position possible, so we thought we'd dive into it. Next guest, Chris Faber from Canucks Convo, Sportsnet 650, does a little bit of writing as well. He does it all. Come on. If you're not on Pods Watch on Twitter, you're missing out. Check him out on Twitter at Chris Faber 39. Brought to you by Quack Stats, our the most advanced player tracking technology, plus minus, power play, penalty kill, whatever you want. Quack Stats dropping soon. Chris Faber joins the show right now. Buddy, how's it going?
It's going, right? With what's going on with the Vancouver Canucks right now, it's kind of tough to really dive and talk about hockey or write about hockey, podcast about hockey, but we're making it through, right? This is more than just a hockey story at this point. This is a huge news story with the outbreak that's going on in Vancouver, but we're pushing through and hoping that everyone's staying healthy or getting back to being healthy, but a lot of the reports that we're hearing right now aren't too great, so we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks here.
So I saw today that there's another player that was added to the COVID protocol list. What's the latest you can give us for an update?
We're over 20 players. We're over 3 coaching staff coaches now, so that's an unfortunate spot as well. It really just blew up from one practice. It felt like one player tested positive, and then it took over the locker room. The player was taken off the ice. That was Adam Gaudette at the time, and it just spread like wildfire. And unfortunately, we're in that spot. I've heard that a lot of the guys in the management are doing okay, which is good to hear. But, the players are in some tough situations. It sounds like it could be a variant of COVID-19. It's not the original COVID-19 or the old COVID that people are calling it, I guess. But this one spread through the team like wildfire, man. And it's unfortunate because, there was some positive things coming out of this team. They were winning games even without Elias Pettersson, and there were some positive things maybe around the corner, and some crazy Canucks fans are starting to think that a playoff push is going to come. It's a tough spot right now because we really don't know when the Canucks are going to take to the ice next at this moment.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I got a couple kind of two-parter here. So with the Gaudette thing so he tested positive and was taken off the ice. Was the testing to cause this outbreak, and also for the Canucks, where do you see this going? Obviously it's important they get healthy first, clearly. And do you see the league just pushing their Calgary, Ottawa games to the end and canceling those, or where do you see this going?
Yeah, I think it's a tough thing to hear that these players came in, took to the ice, got warmed up together, were in the locker room together, all without hearing that one of those players was positive, right? I feel like the size of this organization and how much money they have put into it, I feel like they would be able to get a return on that test and find out that a player was positive and shut everything down. But, he changed with them. He probably ate with them in a pre-practice meal. He was on the ice for most of a practice. And then just at the end, got taken off. And, it's an unfortunate spot because it's man, this virus just sucks so bad. It just feels like every day there's something that drains you even more from it. And I can't wait to get back to normal life, to be honest. But with the future now of this team, you have to consider, like, if 90% of this roster has COVID or has, symptoms of it or has just tested positive or been around it, like the season has to be in question, I think, for the Vancouver Canucks if they're going to take back to the ice, because we don't really know how they're going to react to this recovery. Like, I don't expect these guys to be all 100% healthy 2 weeks from now. And I think that's even asking a lot if you look at the season expecting to end in, 4 to 5 weeks. It's going to be a strange situation to play out. I personally don't see the Canucks playing 56 games this season. I know the NHL is going to want to push for that. They really don't want to get points percentage involved, but just from the way this thing's growing and not getting any better as the days go on, I'd be pretty surprised to see if the Canucks get to 56 games this year, to be honest.
It's World Hockey Parts, started by LORDCO Auto Parts. Learn more at LORDCO.com. Follow LORDCO Parts on social media. Chris Faber here, talking Canucks. See, you kind of actually dove into what I was going to ask you next, so that worked out. What's your thoughts when you see people on social media spouting off a little bit, saying cancel the season, call it, don't need to play hockey, cancel it? And you got to consider here as well, and it's not just the players, it's health and safety comes number one, but there's also a lot of people that put food on their table by covering the Vancouver Canucks, by covering the NHL, by having hockey back. They're able to support their families, stuff like that. When you see that, what goes through your head? I mean, are you one of them that, kind of gets a little pissed off? Or are you one that's like, hey, you can't say cancel the season now, but also be profiting off the Vancouver Canucks in any means? What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question to ask. I mean, it's a tough spot to be in, right? Because the first thing that I think about is these guys' health, right? Like, I don't know what long-term effects come from COVID-19. Like, the craziest thing for me was, like, 3 weeks ago, like, I didn't know one person that had COVID-19. Like, I didn't know one person that contracted the virus. And then one of my friends ended up getting it. Another friend gets it, and then the team that I cover gets it. So, it's kind of a shock to the system for me just personally with this virus, because for a while it was in the background. And I hope that a lot of people in Vancouver or across Canada are in the same boat as me, is like, this is a prime example of this virus not being a joke at all. And I'm not saying that I thought it was a joke, but I did kind of just think that, like, oh, it wasn't really affecting me. I know it's affecting a lot of people, but this has really kind of just opened my eyes to, like, health has to be the first thing that's on the mind of a lot of these players. And I know that, I want to cover this team. I want them to be back on the ice more than anything. But, above all, I just want these guys to be back and playing healthy, playing the game that they love, doing hockey every single day, and just be back to being healthy. So it's kind of tough for me to find the balance. But, yeah, I do see a lot of people on social media, like, especially at the start of it, it's kind of cooled down a little bit. But people were saying, like, oh, they're going to be fine, everything's great. But, like, these guys have families, they have kids, and it's a tough thing to kind of to say, like, get back on the ice, right? Because, like, to me, this isn't really a hockey story anymore. Like I said earlier, this is more of a news story because just of how many people it's affecting. I hope it kind of brings a light to how bad COVID-19 has been so far, through this crazy year that we've had.
Yes. Obviously, as you said, health is the priority here, but I want to ask you about the team when they actually do play. Kind of an underwhelming season. Yeah, kind of an underwhelming season. I don't know how people thought they were going to be better after losing Tanev and Markstrom. And now you look into next year, they're going to, they have expirings with Sutter and Edler, who are good depth pieces at this point. But how does this team get better with Pettersson, Hughes, and Demko extensions kicking in?
Yeah, I think the Demko extension coming in was a good number. I think it's somewhat of a bet for sure because this guy hasn't played 100 games in the NHL. I think he's only played 60-something games in the NHL if you count the playoffs as well. So a little bit of a gamble on him. I feel like the situation with Hughes and Pettersson's contract is kind of leaning towards a bridge deal at this point. Potentially they sign 3 years, and then when we see the cap start to go up after these 4 years of flat cap like Gary Bettman talked about, then we see a big deal for them moving forward. But yeah, it's going to be tough. Like some exciting prospects coming into the system here. Jack Rathbones looked really impressive in Utica. Vasily Podkolzin, obviously over in Russia, not getting a lot of minutes, but every time he plays, he's playing damn impressive. He's going to boost this team. But, next year doesn't really feel like it yet for the Vancouver Canucks. I think Jim Benning has even talked about it, that they want to be competitive in 2 years. And I think that a lot of Canucks fans are seeing that. The question is, will Jim Benning still be the general manager in 2 years to see that happen? Because that's kind of the trajectory of when I see the Canucks being competitive, not only for a playoff spot, but really to start using this core. Like, this core is good enough to go out there and compete for a Stanley Cup. I mean, when you get Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson at their best, surround them with some players like Brock Besser, JT Miller, and Bo Horvat, like you have a core that looks like it can compete, but it's really about all those pieces on the outer core that you want them to actually add to the team instead of just take up salary cap like we're seeing right now. So a lot of changes need to happen with this team. A lot of the young players have to hit, but it is possible to see this team be competitive in 2 years. But next year, I don't really see it happening with Vancouver Canucks, to be honest.
So those are the players' contracts. Travis Green's contract's up, and we haven't really heard a word about that. And Darren Dreger's saying, you know what, if he's not getting extended in Vancouver, there's teams that would line up for him. So what are your thoughts on him as a coach and where he could go?
Well, man, honestly, his funniest thing was, like, I was driving home today to get to the interview with Trent Cull that I was doing, and I was thinking, I was like, man, you know who would fit great, or you know where Travis Green would make a killing with a lot of these players who have so much skill, is the Calgary Flames. I mean, the coaching staff in Calgary has definitely let down that group.
No one can help them, Chris. They're unsavable.
Okay, I mean, Travis Green's a good coach, man. I'd love to have him here in Vancouver, but, like, you know, the funny thing is, like, a lot of people are saying, you know, if Travis isn't signed here in Vancouver, Seattle's going to be looking for a coach. I feel like Calgary is going to be looking for a coach, and those are the two closest teams to the Vancouver Canucks. And, you know, it feels like a Calgary Flames thing to do to snatch another one off of the Canucks roster and make it Travis Green their head coach next year. So that could be an interesting storyline to follow. But the other thing is Ian Clark, right, the goaltending coach here in Vancouver, what he's done with Jacob Markstrom, what he's done with Sergei Bobrovsky in his time with Columbus, and now obviously what he's done with Thatcher Demko, making him into one of the premier goalies in the NHL. He's got to be one of the guys that the Canucks have to look to sign, like, right now, especially after doing a 5-year deal with Thatcher Demko. Like, you want Ian Clark to be around for a long time of that. And I think Travis Green's the guy that you want to have here as well. He's grown with these young guys. He was with some of them in Utica. And I liked a lot of what he did in the playoffs last year as a head coach with his line matching and different combinations. So I would like to see that contract get done. We're just not really seeing ownership buck up yet. But, you know, a lot of us are kind of hopeful that a deal is kind of already in place and we just haven't heard it announced. But with all this negativity going on with COVID in Vancouver, like, I feel like this would be the time right now to give us a positive news story and announce the signing of Travis Green. I don't know if ownership's going to pull the trigger on it yet, to be honest.
Okay, I got two quick ones for you, Faber, before we let you go. This is just a yes or no one. Does Vasily Podkolzin play on the Canucks next year?
Next year, yes. Not this year.
Yeah. No, that's we'll settle that one right now. Mark that up there. Faber says yes. Quinn Hughes, when he looks back on this season, do you think Hughes thinks it was a successful year, like a step forward? Because, hey, I'm not an advanced analytics guy. His plus minus has been awful, but his points has been unreal. You know, what do you think he's looking back on this season being like, yeah, step forward or step back?
I think personally, you've got to think that it was a step forward to a certain degree. There's obviously been a lot of letdowns from this team and a lot of bad giveaways that he's been on the ice for. A couple of those obviously off of his stick as well, but I do think that he would take it as a step forward just because it was a good follow-up year and he didn't really have the drop-off like a lot of people see in their sophomore seasons for points. But there's definitely some things that he has to work on, right? Like, there's a lot of things in the defensive zone that he does need to get better at. And, you know, having Chris Tanev as your partner last season, all of last season, you know, he covers a lot of those faults. And I think maybe that will be something eye-opening for Quinn Hughes moving into next year where, you know, he does have to pay more attention in the defensive zone because he doesn't have a Chris Tanev with him anymore.
All right, Chris, got one last one for you here. I look forward to taking this guy's money tomorrow, but could we see a Cole Lind debut if the Canucks get back?
Yeah, they're not getting back on Thursday, I don't think. But, yeah, like I said, I talked to him on Monday, and it sounds like he's fully healthy, he recovered off of that facial injury. He's on the taxi squad. I don't think we'll see a debut on Thursday, but I'll tell you what, I would not be shocked at all to see him play. If the Canucks get back into action in the next 3 weeks, I would expect Cole Lind to be in the lineup for one of those games just because of, I don't know how these guys are going to recover from COVID, right? Like, the first game back for the Vancouver Canucks, there might still be a handful that just aren't 100% healthy. And now you have Cole Lind, who's done his quarantine. He's gotten back to being 100% healthy. I think if the Canucks get back into action in the next 3 weeks to a month, I'm going to say Cole Lind's in there for the first game.
That works.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, Chris. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate you hopping on here. I know you're a busy man. Everyone be sure to go check out Canucks Convo. Faber, thanks so much, buddy.
Absolutely. Anytime, fellas. It's always good to catch up with you guys.
Chris Faber right there from Canucks Convo hopping on the show. Interesting stuff to talk Canucks a little bit. All right, we got to get to it, though. I mean, we got Masters coming up. we also have to do our mybookie.ag bet of the night. Brought to you by mybookie.ag. Use promo code 120ZSports, all caps, no spaces. Mybookie.ag. They're going to give you a deposit bonus when you're first time signing up. Mybookie.ag, promo code 120ZSports. Adam, who are you liking in the Masters here? I got 3 bets in. I don't know if that's like a no-no or not, but I'll go through my 3. But let me know what you're thinking.
Cool. I'm gonna be this guy, Bryson. He's one.
End the show.
Justin Thomas and Colin Morikawa. Those would be my 3.
Those are all to win. Did you get decent odds on them to win or no? Or have you? Oh, you're doing pools though. You're doing pools. Yeah, so you're that guy.
I haven't, but those are just like 3 guys who.
Shout out my bookie, just a complete snub from Adam. No, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, I'll be the one to do it. And Adam knows I'm not a huge risk guy. Lost enough money on March Madness here. Shout out Baylor though. That future cashed. What's up? Let's go. They were a nice little like plus 900 when I got them to win the tournament. That worked out well. I got 3 Masters bets here. All top 10 finishes though. Jordan Spieth, Tony Finau, and Brooks Blake Koepka. Also, shout out Papa Trout for hopping on the show here today. That's our 3rd guest.
Yeah, no, he wasn't happy with the job the groomers did on the dog yesterday.
Okay, we got to get to that story. Also, shout out Lane Peterson for making his NHL debut. Would be reminisced if our NHL stats guy Adam would have forgot that on the show. Let's talk about it. Dog Park Adam scrapping, throwing fists with 45-year-old ladies and their dogs. Tell us.
65. No, it's just like I tweeted the picture of the dog. She's like 30 pounds, if that, and just took her out for a little walk. And like she barks at people just because she honestly wants them to pet her. Like I've never seen her attack somebody. Like don't touch her tail, but I've never seen her attack anyone. So we're just doing our laps, and this lady comes in and she's wearing a mask outside. There's 6 people in a, I don't know, 3-acre dog park or whatever. So yeah, just started barking. This lady's like, "Oh, could you get her away from me?" I was like, or she goes, "Could you get control of your dog?" Like she was like just some out of control animal. I was like, yeah, like she's not gonna do anything. And she goes, "No, like I'm just really uncomfortable and scared right now." I was like you're at a dog park. like if you're scared of a 30-pound dog, you probably shouldn't be here. Yeah,
no, your dog is as harmless as they come. Probably too fluffy to bite someone. I don't know. Have you ever been bit by your dog? Like,
if I try to like
when you're not being an ass though. No, like just out of general. Like no, your dog's not attacking anyone. No. His mouth could probably bite your wrist. Actually, no, you're pretty skinny. It'd probably bite your whole waist.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, no, for sure.
You gotta love that when superheroes kind of take over. I almost got attacked by a dog the other day. Dog comes charging at me. I was about to boot it right in the head. And I love dogs too, but this dog kind of looked mad. All of a sudden, it just stopped on a dime, backed up, said, "Nope, don't want to eat those size 12 Nikes." So yeah, that's my dog story for the week. We got to wrap things up though. Any last thoughts?
No, I'm looking forward to the Masters. Probably just next 10 hours, next 40 hours of my life, kind of each day will be Masters.
Yeah. It's always a good time when there's golf. And then we got trade deadline, of course. Alrighty, thanks to everyone who makes this show possible. James Sutherland, our producer, Adam Ermintrout, Jeff back at 12 Ounce Sports. Great sponsors, LORDCO Auto Parts, COCO Vodka, COCO Rum, Pro Rock Hockey Sticks. Everyone else, Quack Stats, mybookie.ag. Huge thanks to our guest, Pat Micheletti and Chris Faber. Go down the podcast. The Hockey Podcast Network is who's going to be producing it from now on for the rest of the season for us. Go give them some love on Twitter as well. Until next week, everyone, back here, same time, same place. Be kind, be better.
World Hockey Report is presented by LORDCO Auto Parts, Pro Rock Hockey Sticks, COCO and Quack Stats.